I hadn't set foot on the ranch in nearly 8 months. That old spread in Montana's Bitterroot Valley used to feel like an extension of my bones, with the creak of the barn doors and the scent of sagebrush baked into every memory. But when the text popped up in the family group chat calling it a formal gathering, I knew trouble was brewing. We never did formal. It was always just supper, steaks on the grill, Dad belting out Johnny Cash tunes while the dogs chased fireflies. That was before Mom passed. Before everything shifted like sand in a windstorm. The drive up from Missoula was long and lonesome. The kind where the highway hums a warning under your tires. Pulling into the gravel drive. The first thing that jarred me was the porch swing. It was gone, replaced by sleek metal chairs that looked straight out of a catalog. Mom's handmade wooden one. The one she'd swing on while sipping iced tea and watching the sunset paint the Rockies pink, was nowhere in sight. I stepped inside, and the air hit me wrong, artificial vanilla, like a staged open house. Not the earthy lavender and pine Mom used to simmer on the stove from herbs she'd picked herself. The hallway photos were shuffled around. A big glossy one of Dad and Delia laughing at some charity rodeo hung where our family camping trip shot used to be, the one with all of us around a campfire. Mom's arm slung over my shoulder. I followed the familiar bend toward the dining room, but it felt tighter, dimmer. And there she was, Delia, perched at the head of the table. Mom's spot. No one batted an eye, not Dad, not my sister Marissa, not even the cousins who'd bicker over who got to sit shotgun with Mom on road trips. Delia poured bourbon like she'd been running the place for years. She nodded at the hired help as if she'd sign their checks. Her voice cut through when she introduced me to one of Dad's old ranching buddies. This is Taylor, Jerry's youngest. She's been out exploring the world. Haven't you, darlin'? I hadn't gone farther than the county line, busting my butt at the local vet clinic, paying my own way in a tiny apartment downtown. But no one blinked. No one said, "Hold up. That's Melinda's chair." It was like Delia had always owned it, and I was the outsider crashing the party. We got to the toasts. I wasn't planning to chime in, but Uncle Ray, with his whiskey breath and cowboy hat tipped back, hollered, "Let Taylor say a few words. She's got that gift of gab." I started to speak, but Delia jumped in, glass raised high. She's more the quiet type, always grinding away behind the scenes. That's what makes her so reliable. The room chuckled politely. Even Dad joined in. I caught my brother Silas nudging her with a grin. No one glanced my way. I didn't fire back. Just sat there, hands clenched under the table, knuckles turning white. It wasn't rage yet, just that gut punch disbelief. Like watching your life from the cheap seats. They laughed because it fit their narrative. Or maybe because calling it out would have shattered the illusion. The food rolled out fancy plated ribeye. Garlic mashed potatoes with herbs sprinkled like confetti. No family-style platters. No hollering for seconds. It looked picture perfect. Straight off a foodie blog. Hollow as a drum. I tried chatting with Cousin Lucy about her nursing program at the community college, but she smiled vaguely and scrolled her phone. Marissa steered the talk away twice when I piped up. Anyway, Dad, tell us more about those new fence posts. Like my words evaporated. Delia wove into every conversation, dubbing the meal a new Boone family tradition. She took bows for every dish. Even the peach cobbler I'd baked from Mom's recipe. Across the table, little cousin Milo stared at me with those big eyes. Then down at his plate. He was the only one not grinning ear to ear. I poked at my food, feeling like I'd lost more than a seat. I'd lost my lines in the family script. I'd brought that cobbler because it was Mom's thing. Her faded recipe card, smudged with flour from years of use. tucked in my glove box like a talisman. I'd baked it the night before. Uninvited, knowing it might get sidelined. But it was my way of carrying her into that house, keeping a spark of us alive. When I set it on the sideboard, Delia wrinkled her nose like it'd offend the guests.
Oh, that's hearty.
Maybe something lighter would have fit the vibe tonight. She waved over the caterer. Yeah, they'd hired one and said, "Let's tuck that away in the kitchen. We won't need it." No one protested. Silas, standing right there, muttered, "We've upgraded from that old school stuff anyway." I watched it vanish behind the door, feeling like they weren't just stashing dessert, they were stashing her. The laughter picked back up. Glasses clinking, stories flowing. Delia held court like a queen bee. I stayed put in my assigned seat. She'd even done place cards and powered through the rest of the evening. I'd never felt so much emptiness in a full room. Every tale she spun was about fresh starts and evolving traditions. She tossed phrases like, "This family needed a reboot," around like decorative coasters, pretty but pointless. I tried joining in twice, once asking Marissa about her job at the feed store, once complimenting the wildflower centerpiece. Both times, I got steamrolled. Voices rose. Smiles tightened. Eyes slid away. In the home I'd grown up in, I felt like a trespasser. Then came the big toast. Marissa stood, glass high, to new chapters, growth, and gratitude in this family. Claps all around. I couldn't join. The roar in my head drowned it out. Delia paused mid-story about revamping rituals and fixed her eyes on me. "You know, some folks just struggle with moving on." I stood up.
No Jelena.
No drama. Just steady. Moving on from Mom isn't the same as wiping her out. She didn't flinch. Just slapped me sharp, echoing like a rifle crack in the quiet valley. The room froze. No one moved. Dad didn't explode.
Didn't check on me.
He just rose, hand on her back, and escorted her out like I was the problem. One cousin gasped, hand to mouth, then nothing. I stayed standing, not from bravery, but shock. My cheek tingled numb, matching the frost in my chest. I headed to the kitchen alone. The scent, rosemary from a plug-in, not fresh from the garden, hit like a barrier. It didn't smell like home anymore. Just polished pretense. I heard their truck crunch gravel as they left. Back in the dining room, eyes averted. No help offered. I cleared my own plate, scraped it clean, thinking of Mom folding linens before holidays, humming old hymns, chuckling over burnt biscuits. Her warmth filled spaces like sunlight. Now it was just air freshener. Grief isn't just loss, it's realizing you've been swapped out. As I grabbed my bag by the door, something heavy slipped in. Lucy didn't meet my eyes, but she'd snuck the cobbler tin back. I didn't cry driving to my apartment. Didn't sleep either. Sat in the dark, shoes on, bag in hand,
Bien touched.
The weight wasn't the slap, it was the silence around it. In the mirror, I looked hollow, not dramatic. I texted Silas.
Deleted it.
What could I say? "Hey, remember when Dad's girlfriend hit me and y'all acted like ghosts?" I stared at Mom's old recipe book on the shelf. Pages warped from spills. No flipping through, just staring, willing the past to seep back. That night, the memories flooded in like a spring thaw. I remembered one 4th of July, years back, helping Mom string lights across the barn. She moved slow that summer, her joints complaining from the ranch work, but she insisted on doing it herself. I tried taking over. She shooed me away. She hung this faded American flag quilt she'd sewn decades ago and said, "This place holds stories like the soil holds roots. You can't uproot 'em without tearing something." I get it now. The house didn't smell like her because they'd replanted everything. Everything felt gutted. Crystal vases instead of Mom's pottery. Stainless steel fixtures replacing the iron ones Dad forged in his shop during lean years. It was all sleek, soulless. A week earlier, I'd swung by unannounced. Knocked like a visitor. Delia answered with a tight smile. "You should have called. We're updating the den." "It's chaos." She blocked the entry. But I glimpsed the hall closet. Mom's denim jacket. The one with wildflower embroidery from my high school rodeo win. Was missing. I knew exactly where it had gone. Scrolling Instagram later, I saw it. Delia didn't follow me, but Marissa did. And tags give everything away. Delia posted from the sun porch, vintage vibes with a modern spin. Love breathing new life into old finds. She wore the jacket, posing with a coffee mug like a lifestyle influencer. My stomach nodded, not nausea, but that deep churn when something sacred becomes a prop. I recalled Mom slipping it on for my rodeo, the fabric still crisp, saying, "Blue denim makes a woman feel unbreakable." And their Delia was turning it into content.
I pace till dawn.
Past the ranch. Lights glowing. Laughter spilling out. Not raucous, but easy, the kind when everyone's welcome. Through the window, Marissa's voice. We're her kin now. Maybe not cruel, just careless. Words slipping out when loyalty shifts. I headed back, fired up my laptop, sifted through old files, emails, photos. A mortgage doc from 4 years back, signed by Mom and me. I'd forgotten or dismissed it. But there it was, co-owner. I wasn't just crashing in the bunkhouse out back. I was woven into the land. The next day dragged heavy. I used picking up old gear from the hayloft as my excuse to return. Delia was out, Dad answered, looking like regret incarnate. I walked the halls like a ghost tour. Photos swapped. Our family roundup shot gone, replaced by Dad and Delia in the same frame, mimicking the pose. He caught me staring. It's just a snapshot. Taylor. Just a snapshot. Words stuck in my throat. Pictures are lifelines. And someone was cutting mine. 2 weeks prior, I'd custom-ordered a leather wallet for Dad's birthday, embossed with his and Mom's initials. Their wedding date inside.
Picked it up myself. Wrapped it rustic.
That night, Delia presented it first. Something timeless for you, Jerry. He beamed, pecked her cheek like a movie scene. I spotted the maker's tag peeking out.
Sat numb.
Unspeaking.
Today.
I swung by the leather shop in town. The old-timer pulled the record. Taylor Boone. Paid cash. Custom work. Issue. Just confirming, I said. Left feeling weighted down not by the wallet, but the pattern. They weren't pilfering moments, they were claiming credit. Stopped at the diner for coffee and a breather. Delilah, the waitress and old family friend, slid over a mug and an envelope. Figured you'd need this. Saw Jerry's post. Acts like Melinda never roped a calf here. Inside, the original roundup photo. Mom's hand on my hip, both grinning under wide brim hats. Snagged this before they refreshed everything, Delilah said. We sat, reminiscing about Mom's last days, her grit, turning the ranch into a haven even as cancer whittled her down. She said you'd hold the fort, Delilah whispered. Not 'cause you're stubborn, but 'cause you see what's worth saving. That chat stitched something back in me. Later, walking Main Street, the sheriff tipped his hat. Taylor How's the boon spread? Your mom was salt the earth, brought those killer briskets to the county fair. I nodded, feeling affirmed. They might let Delia play grandma, but blood remembers. That evening, I cleared my table, listed changes, decor, scents, sidelined words, stolen credits. Not for vengeance, for record. Scan docs, texts, receipts. The shift wasn't sorrow or fury, it was focus. You don't battle for memory, you battle erasure while breathing. Laid it out like evidence, deed, emails, cards in mom's loopy script, photos faded and fresh, wallet receipt. No drama, just facts. Delia didn't bulldoze, she nudged. Rebranded till the chill set in unnoticed. Folks didn't resist 'cause it felt seamless. She convinced him I'd faded out. But I hadn't. Now I saw sharp. I wasn't oversensitive, I lacked proof. Now armed. Midnight. I unearthed mom's quilting box from under the bed, fabrics, buttons, tangled thread. Folded inside, a letter in her hand. Taylor, it started. Not farewell, but anchor. I know you'll stand firm. Not 'cause they force you, but 'cause you glue what matters. She mentioned the ranch, her sweat equity, how folks overlook what builds safety. Put your name on the deed with Jerry, you've earned your stake. I cried then, not grief, but recognition.
Someone saw me.
Scanned it, framed the original by my bed like a North Star. Checked Dad's Facebook, sparse. But Delia tagged him. Latest, them in the den. Hands clasped, caption finally complete. Stared till it blurred. Pulled my account. Dormant years. Posted side by side. Mom in the den. Boots off. Coffee in hand. Owning the space. Delia with wine.
Posed.
Caption. It was complete long before the makeover.
No tags.
Comments off. Not for likes, for truth. Morning.
Duplicated packets. Date.
Letter. Photos for me. Bank box.
Lawyer.
Not threat, safeguard. When they scrub your name, etch it deeper. Texted Marissa. No sorry needed, but I won't vanish. Read. No reply.
Fine.
Spent dusk on my porch. Framed letter in lap. You'll endure 'cause I held on, I murmured. They'll recall me 'cause I spoke up. I didn't knock this time. Stood at the ranch door. Folder clutched. Air thick as pre-storm humidity. Delia answered in workout gear. Smoothie in hand. Blinked. Then smiled plastic. Didn't expect you.
No chit-chat.
I'm entering the home I co-own. She paused. Stepped aside. Dad loomed in the den. Arms crossed. Silent. I nodded, he didn't. Didn't need approval. Needed validation from the bones of the place. The dining room struck first. Not the new stuff, but holdouts, a scuff on the beam from Mom's old clock. Painted over, but dented stubborn. The hearth bore faint cracks where logs had popped too hot. Mom called it the ranch's laugh lines. Stood there, absorbing. Delia trailed in, planning a remodel here soon. Turned to her. Can't whitewash what recalls us. Opened the folder. Laid the deed flat. 2 names on the spread, and only one bled for it. Silence. Delia shifted. Dad faded into wallpaper. Stepped to the porch. Air honest. Delilah pulled up minutes later. Paper sack in tow. Sat beside me. Handed it over. Inside. Worn album. Edges curled. Flipped silently. Barbecues. Busted fences. The old tire swing. Hit one from the first roundup post Mom. Me alone in the kitchen. Apron askew. Half smile. Delilah tapped. This land doesn't forget her. It echoes you. Nodded. She rose. She claims walls. You own the heart.
Gone.
Back inside. To the hearth. From my bag, framed deed copy and letter. Set it on the mantel. Unavoidable.
No fanfare.
Heard Delia's voice tighten. Can't just scatter her junk. Dad, finally. Leave it. First real words in ages. Headed out slow, he followed. At the threshold, not here to unsettle, just remind who stayed. He held my gaze. Wordless. Dad called next day. Voicemail scripted. Family wants to sit down. Taylor. Let's hash it out. Hash it out like it was a mix-up. Not wipeout.
Agreed anyway.
Showed that evening with envelope and USB. Casual. Jeans. Flannel. Boots for muck. Expected performance. Not candor.
Den rearranged, chair circled.
Coffee table centerpiece like truce. Delia beside Dad. Hand possessive. Siblings quiet. Eyes flicking. She led. We seek harmony. But this hostility can't stand.
Hostility. Bold.
Said nothing. Gauged. Who averted. Who leaned. Plugged USB into the smart TV. Screen lit. Timestamp. Chatter. Clinks, then the slap.
Loud.
Freeze frame silence. Gasps leaked. Silas forward. Didn't know she recorded. Delia flustered. Out of context. Come. This is your context. Dad. No need to amp it. Cut. Anthing was escorting her post-hit. He sank. Let screen fade. Then spotted it. The ring on her finger gold. Rose cut. Understated. Not hers. Where'd that come from? Whispered. Delia glanced. Old box find. Jerry said take what fits. Pulled photo from folder. Mom at my vet tech graduation barbecue. Ring gleaming. Placed it by remote. Silence thundered. An aunt rose. Exited. Turned to Dad. You handed the ranch. Memories. Table head. But not what's not yours. Opened envelope. Legal confirmations.
Date.
Letter scan. Crossed a hearth. Lifted frame. Last explanation. Remember me by what I preserve.
Noster.
Left. Delilah waited curbside. Engine purring.
Noters.
No glance back. Phone exploded. 99 missed from Dad. No messages. Final text on. She's left. Come talk. No period.
Raw.
No anger, just pity. He lost her 'cause he never saw me. Skipped ranch. Hit library. Delilah met with folder. Clippings. Docs from her attic. Delia Redix, prior town. Elder sway. Property flips. Family sidelined. Whispers of undue influence. Financial elder abuse.
No convictions.
But patterns smoked. Delilah. Some chase legacies they didn't build. No outburst, just relief. Not paranoia, gut truth. Printed key article. Folded. Enveloped. My name back. Drove to ranch. Slipped through slot. No wait. Truths stand alone.
Home.
Packed, not fleeing. Advancing. Ditched ill fits. Fear held papers. Hung mom's apron. Fresh wildflowers on sill. Windows wide. Air renewing. Reclaiming's breath. Not title. Dusk. Cemetery drive. Alone. Knelt by her stone. Didn't shatter him. But kept you unearthed. Placed graduation photo by headstone. Raw. Belonging. Sat. Wind wrapping. Legacy's what you guard. Back home. Something shifted. Called my lawyer, not war.
Clarity.
In Montana, deeds mean squat without intent. Mom's letter sealed mine. Reviewed. Co-ownership clear. No easy oust. Not suing, just knowing rights fortified me. Next week's blurred. Ranch chores from afar.
Wer trifft's?
Marissa texted. Miss you at suppers. Replied. Miss the real ones. Silas called. That slap. We froze.
Saw the freezing's choice, I said.
But thanks. Small bridges. Dad showed at my door.
Hand in Hand.
Looking weathered as old fence posts. Taylor. I messed up. Let her lead cause it eased the ache. Sat him down. Easing erased Mom and me. He nodded. Eyes wet. Didn't see till you showed. Pulled the framed letter. She saw. We talked hours, ranch history. Mom's dreams. No quick fix. But start. Delia? Vanished like tumbleweed. Rumors. Headed west. Patterns repeating. Didn't chase, focused forward. Planted sage by the bunkhouse. Mom's favorite. Hosted small barbecue. Cousins. Delilah. Laughter real. Stories flowed. Milo. This feels like old times. Smiled. That's the point. Lessons sunk gentle. Families fracture. But truth mends if you hold space. Revenge corrodes. Reclaiming heals. The ranch stood. Roots deep. Ready for new growth. Life on the ranch didn't snap back like a rubber band after that confrontation. It stretched slow, like dough rising in the morning sun. I started showing up more, not barging in, but easing back into the rhythm. Dad invited me for coffee one dawn. Just us two, on the porch, watching the mist lift off the valley. No big apologies at first, just quiet acknowledgments. I let the grief blind me, he admitted, staring at his mug. Delia filled the void, but she widened the cracks. I nodded, sipping black coffee the way Mom taught me, strong enough to wake the dead. We all did, in our ways. But voids don't need filling, they need honoring. We talked about the deed then. Clear and legal. In Montana law, co-ownership meant joint decisions on big changes, like remodels or sales. Mom had insisted on it years back, during her treatments, to protect the legacy. She knew I'd need backup, I said. Dad agreed. No fight left in him. We filed updates with the county clerk, ensuring my stake was ironclad. No drama. Just paperwork, practical. American-style resolution. Marissa came around next. Showed up at my vet clinic with a thermos of her famous chili. I was scared of rocking the boat, she confessed between appointments. Delia made it seem like harmony meant silence. We hugged it out, tears mixing with the scent of horse liniment. Harmony means hearing everyone, I replied. Silas followed suit, helping me mend a fence line one weekend. Froze like a deer in headlights that night. Won't happen again.
We worked side by side.
Hammers echoing like punctuation to unspoken regrets. The cousins trickled back too. Lucy organized a family game night, no frills. Just cards and popcorn in the barn. Milo drew pictures of the old swing set, taping one to the fridge. Uncle Ray slapped my back. You're the spit of your mama, tough as nails. Laughter returned. Genuine, not forced. We shared stories of Mom, her epic trail rides, the time she outrode a storm to save a stray calf. Delia became a footnote. Not a villain, a lesson in boundaries. I dove deeper into ranch ops, suggesting eco-friendly grazing to sustain the land. Dad listened, implemented some. It felt collaborative, not combative. Delilah became a regular. bringing wisdom and casseroles. Healing's like breaking a horse, gentle persistence wins. Her folder? Filed away. Insurance against repeats. One evening, Dad pulled me aside. Found this in the attic. A box of Mom's things. Journals. A locket with our baby photos. That denim jacket. Washed. But intact. Shouldn't have let him go. We sorted together, placing items around the house. The jacket hung by the door, journals on the shelf. Not museum pieces, living reminders. The ring surfaced too. Dad had it. Delia left it behind.
Yours now, he said.
Slipped it on. Felt Mom's strength. No grudges, just forward. Community noticed. At the county fair, folks asked about the Boone spread. Heard y'all weathered a storm, the sheriff said. Storms pass, roots hold. Nodded. Enter Mom's cobbler recipe in the bake-off, one blue ribbon. Shared slices. Toasts to resilience.
Nights.
I'd sit by the fire pit. Stars blanketing the sky. Reflected. Pain reshapes. But choice rebuilds. Delia's play exposed fractures. But mending taught forgiveness, not forgetting, but freeing. Article stayed private. No need for public shaming. Healing's internal. Hosted a memorial ride 6 months on family. Friends on horseback through the trails Mom loved. Dad led. Voice steady sharing tales. At the peak, scattered wildflower seeds. To growth, I toasted. Echoes agreed. The ranch bloomed anew. Sustainable practices. Family bonds tightened. I balanced vet work with stewardship, feeling rooted. Lesson light but profound. Families aren't perfect, they're persistent. Hold truth gently. Let love lead. Erased pieces? Reclaimed with grace. Dad remarried?
No rus.
We focused on us. Delia? Word came she'd settled in Wyoming. Starting over. Wished her well silently. Everyone deserves redemption. My life? Fuller. Dated a kind ranch hand. Laughed easy. The slap's sting faded to scar. Reminder of strength. The deed? More than paper. Promise kept. As seasons turned, fall brought golden aspens. Mirroring change. I volunteered at the local shelter, channeling Mom's compassion. Helped a family reclaim their foreclosed farm through legal aid, echoed my fight. Dad joined, finding purpose. Marissa started therapy, we attended together sometimes. Silas built a new swing set for Milo.
Bon men det tret be tret.
Winter snows blanketed the valley. Insulating wounds. Christmas, simple, with Mom's ornaments front and center. No caterers, just us cooking. Carols playing. Gifts meaningful. I gave Dad a restored photo album. He gave me keys to the main house. You're home too. Teared up. Spring thawed. Ranch, lively with calves. Organized community events, barbecues.
Rides.
Delia rumor. Faced her past. Sought help. Relieved, humanity wins. Summer, full circle. Hosted roundup. Everyone contributing.
Laukataram.
Toasted. To roots and renewal. Felt Mom's presence in the breeze. Through it. Law clear. Rights protected. But relationships rebuilt willfully. Article unused. Forgiveness freer. Life's drama turns to depth when met with heart. The ranch hummed with new energy as the years unfolded. But that first year post-confrontation set the tone for everything. I remember the day Dad and I sat down with the family lawyer, not to sue or divide, but to formalize a trust. In Montana, property laws favor clear intent, and Mom's letter provided just that. We structured it so the land stayed intact. with provisions for all kids, emphasizing stewardship over ownership. This isn't about control, Dad said.
Signing.
It's about legacy. I agreed, feeling the weight lift. No more erasures, just shared guardianship. Marissa and I grew closer through small acts, trail rides at dawn, sharing coffee and confessions. I idolized Delia's fresh start vibe, she admitted once. Reins loose in her hands. But it masked my own grief. We cried, laughed,
Healed.
Silas stepped up too, organizing ranch maintenance days. Won't let silence win again, he vowed, hammer in hand. The cousins made it a habit. Milo's drawings evolved into family murals on the barn walls, capturing our history in vibrant strokes. Community wove in deeper. Delilah hosted potlucks, where stories of moms circulated like currency. She taught me resilience. A neighbor shared over pie. You carry that torch. I did, volunteering at land conservation groups, advocating for family farms against big AG buyouts. It echoed my personal battle. Rights matter, but relationships sustain. One crisp fall, Dad confided over fence mending. Delia preyed on my loneliness. I let her rewrite us. No blame, just honesty. We all rewrite sometimes, I replied. Key is editing together. He smiled. First real one in ages. We restored Mom's garden that season, planting perennials that bloomed eternal. Winter brought introspection.
Snowed in.
We pored over old videos, Mom laughing at holiday mishaps, her voice warm as cocoa. She'd want us thriving, Dad mused. Agreed. Started traditions, annual memory shares, where each recounted a mom moment. Healing ritual. Spring renewal, calves born, land greening. I balanced vet calls with ranch duties. Finding rhythm. Dated steadily now, a steady guy who respected roots. Your strength's inspiring, he said. Blushed, but owned it. Summer peaked with a family reunion, distant relatives included. No tension, just joy. Barbecue smoked. Music played. Toasted under stars, to forgiveness and fortitude. Felt complete. Delia's chapter closed softly. Heard she'd turned counselor, helping blended families. Ironic, but redemptive. Sent anonymous well wishes. Humanity's arc bends toward growth. My arc, empowered. The slap, catalyst for clarity. Law provided backbone. Love built bridges. Article, shredded. No need for ammunition when peace prevails. Lesson lingered light. In drama's wake, choose compassion. Revenge echoes empty. Reclamation resonates. Families falter, but with truth and grace, they flourish. The ranch stood testament, roots deep, branches wide, enduring. Years on, I walk the land, wind whispering Mom's wisdom. Hold gentle, stand firm. I do. And in that, find home eternal. As time wove on, milestones marked progress. Milo's first rodeo win, with us cheering. Marissa's wedding on the ranch. Mom's quilt as backdrop. Silas's business venture. Ranch-sourced beef. Dad's retirement. Handing reins shared. Challenges arose. Drought tested us. But unity prevailed. Legal tweaks ensured sustainability. Community bonds strengthened. Annual fair booth honoring Mom. Personal growth. Therapy helped process. Wrote a journal. Perhaps a book someday. Love deepened. Proposed under the aspens. Delia's path. Crossed once at a conference. Nodded acknowledgement. No words needed. Growth evident. Ultimate takeaway. Life's Trin Tam unfolds in hearts, not courts. Drama reveals, humanity resolves. In Western vastness, we find our way together.